Hello, I got a mail from a brother in Christ, and he asked me in that mail a good question uh, about the Bible, because that's the most important book we have in this world, the Bible. So I was thinking that it's good to do a video about this subject, so I can explain a little about why I recommend the King James Version. He asked me why I recommend that Bible, why I prefer that Bible when it comes to English Bibles. He asked me if God himself had revealed to me that that's the most correct version of the Bible, or if I, in my own research, had found that out. He wanted me to explain, so I will explain to you here. And when I was a baby Christian, I heard many Christians that recommended the King James Version. So I heard that the other versions, most of them anyway, are corrupted more or less. And I started to do a little research myself. I looked up where you could, compare, for example, one Bible with the King James Version, and you could see that things were left out from that other version of the Bible, but it was still in the King James Version. So. When I researched this, I could never find anything that was left out, that was deleted from the King James Version, but I could find things that was deleted or changed, that was mistranslated, in other versions of the Bible. So that's why I bought myself a King James Version Bible. But, however, just because I know that the King James Version is the most correct English version of the Bible that exists, I'm not a person that only preach from the King James Version. It does exist other versions of the Bible. They have a few errors in it. Things can be left out. But few of those Bibles is not dangerous to read. You can still get the correct message if you read those Bibles. So you will not be misled and go to hell because it's minor small things that it's not so dangerous that has been changed or left out. The reason I preach sometimes from other versions than the King James, like ESV, I think that stands for English Standard Version, or NIV, or a New King James Version. Those are the Bibles I preach from too. Mostly I preach from New King James Version, and that's because the English in the King James Version is from the 1600th century, and that's where it's very old English, so it's very hard to understand, even for people who lives in an English speaking country. They can have a difficult to read the King James Version. So just believe how it is for me who haven't English as my first language. So that's why I sometimes preach from other versions, but when I see that, well, I understand this completely from the King James Version and it's easy to understand, I preach from that. But let's go on. 1 year ago, it came out a Swedish Bible, a new version of a Swedish Bible, and it's called the Reformation Bible. It's a Swedish Reformationsbibeln in Swedish. That Bible, it's almost like a copy of the English King James Version, but it's in Swedish. And when this Bible came out, I was thinking to buy it, but then I was thinking, I read my old Bible. In Swedish it's called Folkbibeln. But soon after that I got a dream from God that he wanted me to buy the new Swedish Bible that's like the King James Version. And that was a confirmation from God that the King James Version is the most correct Bible. Because Jesus would never recommend me to buy a Bible that's not, a correct one to read, So I already had the Bible, a good Bible, But Jesus wanted me to buy the new Swedish King James Version. So that's why I know this is the best Bible to read. But like I said, I don't say that you can't read other versions of Bibles. Some of them is Bibles that you should avoid. For example, that's pretty obvious. The Jehovah's Witness Bible, New World Translation or whatever it's called. That's a Bible that's, they change so Jesus is not God. One place in the Bible it says that he is God. I can leave the example after this video with one verse from the Bible that show that Jesus is God. I show from the King James Version, and then I compare it to the Jehovah's Witness Bible, and there you can see that they have changed. So Jesus is not God, he is a God. Like Satan is a God. So, Bibles like that you must avoid in all costs. But Bibles like New King James Version and ESV, Bibles like that, you can still read them. They are good to read. But I still recommend the KJV, King James Version. God bless you. Let's read from the King James Version 2 verses that show that Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. John 1:1 it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." So here we learned that the Word is God. The Word is God. We read from John 1:14, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." So we know that the Word is God, and the Word was made flesh. Jesus Christ came and became a human. He was made flesh. So the Word is Jesus Christ. He became flesh. And it says, he is the glory as of the only begotten. Jesus Christ is the only begotten Son of the Father in heaven. So the King James Version clearly says here that Jesus Christ is God. It's only those people who don't want to think that Jesus is God that keep their eyes closed to the understanding of this. But let's look at what the Jehovah's Witness Bible says. Now let's read the same, but from the corrupt Jehovah's Witness Bible, New World Translation. We can skip John 1:14 in this. It's enough to read John 1:1. So here we go. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God. A little g, not God with a big G. It's a little g, a God, not God himself. So they claim Jesus is not God in the flesh. They claim Jesus is not God. So they misleading many people, and the Jehovah's Witness, by the way, is a cult, and Jesus do not listen on their prayers. It's very sad that they are so brainwashed by the teachings from that comes with this cult from hell. But I just wanted to compare those Bibles. So it does exist Bibles that is total corrupted, but most of the Bibles it's good Bibles to read, like I said earlier.